Hey everyone, thanks for joining me. My name is Brent, I'm the CEO of Wytebox, and today I'm going to walk you through an example of a freight brokerage use case where we're using our company, a fake company called Meridian Freight Group as the example. So every broker runs into similar problems, right? There's hundreds of operational questions every day. Which lanes are we losing margin on? Why is this award stalling? Who actually touched the shipper account? Answered by stitching together data from McLeod, DAT, Project 44, Salesforce, email, Teams, etc. It's always a multi-team scavenger hunt that burns hours that nobody tracks. Wytebox is the data layer for that problem. You connect through whatever AI harness you prefer. I'm on Cursor, but you can easily use Claude Code or whatever agent of your choice. And you start asking questions in plain English. No integrations, we're not pulling from your TMS APIs. Everything you're about to see was captured through Wytebox in a self-contained infrastructure from day one of deployment. That's really the differentiator. You're not waiting 6 months for IT to wire up every system before you get value. Now, I'm going to dictate my queries through a platform called Whisperflow for the sake of the demo experience. So we'll start broad, we'll drill into the messiest shipper award, stress test it with real objections from brokerage, pull the team's receipts, and then zoom out to rate every team. Same question as a COO or VP of brokerage would ask. Where is the time going and is it efficient? So let's start with the question every brokerage leader asks, but almost nobody can prove from the systems alone. Which shipper awards cost us the most active time in the last 2 weeks? Who touched each account and where did the hours go? So as we can see, Cursor pulls from Wytebox and returns the full picture in seconds. You immediately see 5 shippers on this campaign and 2 clear outliers. Summer Freight Lines with 21 plus hours, 15 people across 7 departments, and BlueLine Carriers with 19 plus hours with 15 people in 6 departments. Then a tier down, you have Iron Horse at 16 hours, Atlas at 12 hours, Northstar at 10 hours. But Northstar is really what a disciplined award should look like. 10 people, 4 departments. And as you can see below, it lists out all the shippers, breaks it out by the team that touched each shipper and each team member. However, I'm interested in why Summit is 2.3 times the cost of the same campaign motion. That's a thread, so let's pull it. So because Summit is the expensive one, I want to know why 15 people touched a single shipper account, what they were working on, and whether that work should have happened before or after rate confirmation. So I'm going to ask, tell me more about all the team touches on Summit Freight Lines. What took so long? What were teams working on? And why were so many people involved? So now, this is where Wytebox stops being a report and starts telling a story that you'd never assemble from McLeod alone. On Summit Freight Lines, it splits the hours, people, and activities into an easy-to-read format that outlines each team's progress, the apps they used, and the standout performances. Then it clearly shows what took so long in a conclusive, data-driven table organized by active time and workstream. With this information, we can start to derive that there are serious procedural issues going on here, right? Campaigns are all over the place, processes are taking way too long because of disorganization, and team members are not being disciplined about the systems or procedures they're using, causing significant slowdown. But I want to go deeper, so let's throw in a wild card. Let's say that we talk to brokerage leadership offline and they're pushing back. They're saying, hey, we're not slow. Awards stall because EDI isn't ready, legal holds contracts, and CheckCal gets involved before we've issued the rate confirmation. We work every account that we can. So, that's a fair point, right? And it might seem anecdotal, but we still need to look into it. And that's exactly the kind of thing that normally sends you into a 3-week postmortem across McLeod, Boomi, team exports. But let's just ask Wytebox directly. So, let me see. Brokerage says shipper awards are stalling, not because of lack of effort, but because of EDI integration, legal review, and check call teams engaging too early. For BlueLine Carriers and Iron Horse Transport, show me total active hours by department and workstream, EDI lane tender integration hours, shipper service risk ledger, and check call hours before award, and who the primary owners were and whether work overlapped in time. And let's compare them to Northstar Carriers as a low-cost award on the same campaign. So what we can see instantly is that Brokerage had a point. BlueLine has significant legal, finance, CS, and exec time that seems drastically different than Northstar. We can see that risk assessment, brokerage agreements, reviews, and just various EDI-related tasks accounted for well over half of the time spent on BlueLine shipments. Meanwhile, Northstar is not only less than half, but it is roughly 10 times less time in general spent on such activities. At the end here, you can see that it gives a general conclusion table organized by objective information to help you make your final decision. Now, this by itself was an incredible deep dive that allowed you to drill into a level of granularity that would take so many man-hours to put together if you even could get the objective truth through human feedback alone. However, I want to show you how we can also zoom out to get a wider lens view and everything going on and still remain incredibly data-driven and connected to the story arc. So we've gone from one broad question to EDI blockers, pre-award CS, and team receipts. Last beat, I want to rate every team that touched these enterprise shipping accounts and tell me what to fix. So here's the prompt. Zoom out, rate how efficient every team was that touched these enterprise shipper accounts from the Capacity Certainty Q3 shipper campaign. For each team, brokerage, check call, CS, product, engineering, legal, finance, ops, exec, give an efficiency score between 1 and 10, total hours worked and hours per shipper, what worked versus what didn't, and then one concrete fix. Include a per shipper cost summary and show how work flowed between teams. Now look at this amazing report. Zoomed out to show performance across all teams for this campaign and their efficiency score. It's super easy to read. You have these incredible work flowcharts to show how work flows between teams, a clear, visually appealing view of shippers and their performance in regard to the campaign, a single clear fix if we do want to implement one. Look, Wytebox is able to zoom in and out at your command, all while dynamically adjusting to your data on what happens every day in your organization. We started with one question: which shipper awards cost us the most time? Wytebox answered it in seconds. Then we drilled down into Summit to identify operational inefficiencies. We checked and confirmed a claim from a brokerage pushback on process, and then we zoomed out to get an all-encompassing view of process across a single campaign. Wytebox didn't just tell us who was busy, it showed us where work connected, where it didn't, and what to fix next. Let us show you what we can do with a free 2-week, no-risk trial. Let Wytebox uncover the context layer of how you operate.